You're hired. Welcome to the Jungle Gyms team.
You've just become a very important part of the jungle.
Hey there, I'm Megan.
And I'm Ryan. We're tour guides right here in the jungle. You know, you've just become a very important part of what makes Jungle Gyms the place to eat, drink, and have fun. Jungle Gyms takes fun seriously. In fact, it's right there in our mission statement and your job description. Making guests happy with great food and friendly service in a fun-filled atmosphere. And that's what we do. And we aim every day to do it better than anyone.
That's where you come in. At Jungle Gyms, our guests always come first, and our service is second to none.
Did you know that Jungle Gyms started in St. John's and now has 25 restaurants throughout Canada?
We didn't get this successful by just being good enough. We got here by excelling at what we do and making guests happy.
And we think that you've got what it takes to join our exceptional team.
So we've put together this training video to help you get right into the swing of things and to help you be the very best you can be.
And now that you know that your job description is making guests happy,
right here is where you'll find out what to expect at Jungle Gyms, what your role as a server really is, and you'll learn how to serve like a pro. And don't forget, insider info on how to dramatically increase your tips.
In a competitive world, you have to keep in front of the pack. And Jungle Gyms does that with great food, a great atmosphere, and treating our patrons not as customers, but as guests, with a capital G. And it starts right from the moment they walk through our doors. How
do we do it? By thinking like a guest, by always delivering the very best guest experience possible. Think about how you like to be treated when you dine out. Anticipate guest needs and use your enthusiasm and personality to make them feel at home.
Sound like a tall order? Well, don't worry. It's not nearly as hard as you may think. And we've broken it down in just a few quick chapters to make it easier for you. Are you ready? Here we go. Drum roll, please.
Chapter 1, Dress for the Jungle. That means always being clean and tidy, and being well-groomed also means wrinkle-free and neatly shaven with long hair tied back, in the full Jungle Gyms uniform. Khaki shorts, belt, jungle t-shirt, but you don't have to tuck it in. Non-slip flat shoes or sneakers. Oh, and socks that coordinate with the look. It's comfortable and casual, but still shows that you're a professional. Okay, so here's a recap on how to dress for the jungle. Clean khaki shorts, belt, Jungle Gyms t-shirt tucked or untucked, non-slip flat shoes or sneakers, long hair tied back, and yes, coordinating socks. Oh, and lose the gum, and the cell phone. Simple and straightforward, right? Now we're at the best part, you working and having fun doing it.
Chapter 2, Greet your guests. Always greet your guests with a warm and welcoming smile and a great can-do attitude. That means being super polite, upbeat, and positive. Make eye contact. Have a passion for what you do. It will make your job and your guest experience. Ensure everyone is seated comfortably with all current menu materials, and make sure that your little guests, safari kids we like to call them, have their activity mats, menu mask, and crayons. Remove any extra place settings, and if a high chair or a special need is required for a guest, take care of it right away. Establish right off the top that you mean to deliver quick, attentive personal service. That and a genuine smile, and you're on your way to making great tips. It's all about attitude, how you approach your role. If you like people and you like what you do, it'll shine through. Now, here's an important point. As our first and last points of contact, you are Jungle Gyms to our guests. So it's totally within your power to make guests want to return. And remember, repeat guests means repeat and bigger tips for you. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. Okay, so let's go over Chapter 2 again. Greet your guests with a smile. Be warm. Make eye contact. Have a friendly, efficient, can-do attitude. Oh, and take care of your safari kids, and you'll have mom and dad in the palm of your hand. So far, it's a piece of cake, right? Speaking of cake, we have the best Chimmy cheesecake in the world.
Chapter 3, Make suggestions and make more money. Really, this is huge. You'd be amazed what a difference it can make to your take-home tips. First of all, be sure to tell your guests about any feature specials, such as wing night, steak night, whatever's current. Next, suggest a couple of Jungle Gyms' most popular drinks, like the Super Normie. It's huge, 34 ounces. Or our jungle-sized strawberry daiquiri, made with real fruit puree. Remember, think like a guest and paint a picture in their minds with colorful language. So you take the drink order and suggest a signature jungle appetizer. Buffalo wings, we have over a dozen flavors. Or Spud Mania, great for sharing. Remember, every time you sell an appetizer, you increase your guest check and your tip by 10 to 15%, so upsell. So the takeaway from Chapter 3 is, suggest specific drinks, take drink order, suggest appetizers, and introduce features.
Chapter 4. Take the order. While you've been filling the drink order, your guests have had a chance to look over the menu. When you bring the drinks to the tables, ask if they're ready to order, or if they'd like a few extra minutes. And if they need extra time, check back promptly. Then, using your iPad or Jungle Server notepads, take the appetizer and entree orders, starting clockwise from your left. Always repeat each order back to each guest as you take it. This greatly reduces errors. And make appropriate, encouraging comments throughout the ordering process. Again, think like a guest. We all like to hear we've made a great choice. And before you leave the table, identify your name in an informal way. Hey, I'm Tarzan. If you need anything at all, just holler. Avoid the overused, I'm so-and-so and I'll be your server tonight. We think they get that. Just let your personality shine through. Okay, Chapter 4 recap time. Take the order. Start from your left and go clockwise around the table. Enter the order on your iPad or write the order down. Repeat each order back to each guest. For example, fish with the home fries. And make encouraging comments like, you certainly won't be disappointed with the fajitas. And pay close attention to each order and get it right the first time. Your guests will appreciate it, and you'll see the difference in your tips.
Chapter 5, the highlight for your guests, bringing the food order. So when it's time to get the food on the table, it's time for jungle teamwork to kick into high gear.
When all available team members spring into action, not only does it make your job easier, it helps ensure everyone gets their meal at the same time. And you, in turn, return the favor to your fellow team members.
Present Hungry Safari Kids meals first, then present meals in the order in which they were placed, from left to right. Never, and I mean never, auction off food by asking who had what. This is your job, not your guests.
And another word about teamwork. It's one of the things that makes working here so great and so much fun. So don't worry, you'll never have to fend for yourself in the jungle.
After all, we all have the same goal.
Making our guests' dining experience the best it can possibly be. And that translates into the best possible tips.
Oh yeah, another important point, never leave your guest table until everyone is happy. Offer pop refills, extra drinks, steak sauce and other condiments as necessary.
So let's recap Chapter 5. Deliver food first to kids, then in the same order placed from left to right. Enlist the help of all available team members. Stay at the table till every guest is happy and has everything they need.
Got all that so far? Don't worry, you'll be great. And your fellow jungle team members will always have your back.
That's a promise. Chapter 6 is all about being attentive. Being attentive is one of the most important skills of being a Jungle Gyms team member. Once your guests have had their food long enough to have the first bite, it's time for a hot check. This means checking to ensure meals are just the way they should be, and that your guests don't need anything else. If they do, deliver it promptly and with a smile. On average, check back 2 to 3 times while guests are eating. These visits are an opportunity for table maintenance, such as upselling another jungle-sized daiquiri or supernormie, offering pop refills, or to remove any empty dishes or bring extra napkins, etc. Soon, it'll become second nature. And to get your guests thinking about dessert, use one of your later flybys to remind your guests to save room for Chimmy Cheesecake. Every time you visit a table, be sure to scan your other tables for hotspots. A hotspot is any place your attention is needed by a guest. And respond promptly. No one likes to be kept waiting, especially while their food grows cold. So make it your mission to make sure each of your guests has the best jungle experience possible. Prompt, friendly attention is the cornerstone to making your guests happy. And in the end, happy guests equals bigger tips. Okay, let's recap. Be attentive. Do that oh so essential hot check. Anticipate your guests' needs. Scan your section for hot spots. And respond promptly and cheerfully to every request.
Chapter 7, and what's it all about? Just desserts. So you might be thinking, okay, what's the big deal? Well, you see, many guests arrive not sure whether they'll actually order a dessert, but a little encouragement from you is often all it takes to get them off the fence. And because dessert increases your average check and tip size by about 15 to 20%, it's definitely worth your while to sell. And don't just ask if anyone's up for dessert. Be specific and descriptive, engage their imaginations, and use your personality. Now, who'd like to try our famous To Me cheesecake? Apple, berry, or chocolate? By far our most popular dessert. Oh, I'm making myself hungry. And that's how you do it. So let's review our short but sweet chapter on making the sale. Dessert alone can increase sales by 15 to 20%, so sell it. Be specific. Mention a dessert or two by name. Be descriptive. Make it sound as good as it is. And finally, close that sale with a smile. Well, you've greeted your guests, you served up a great meal, and you've done it all with a sense of fun, enthusiasm, and professionalism. Time to check it out.
Chapter 8. This is about presenting the check and saying goodbye to your guests. Hey, trust me, now is no time to slack on your top shelf service. So keep that sparkling personality going and make sure to ask how guests enjoyed their meal. Avoid the meaningless and way overused "How was everything?" Show your genuine interest and be specific. How did you enjoy your Inferno burger? Isn't the Chimmy cheesecake unbelievable? Paint pictures in your guests' minds. As your guests are finishing up, deliver the check promptly and place it in the center of the table. Never assume who will pay. When we assume, we can make an ass out of you and me. In the jungle, we accept payment on an equal opportunity basis. Now, at the same time, we don't want our guests to feel we're pushing them out the door. Here's your check, there's a cash register, what's your hurry? No, offer the choice to pay by cash right at the table, or debit or credit at the bar. Then tell your guests to relax, finish their coffee. Now is your last chance to make a lasting impression. Don't underestimate how important this is to your guests' experience and your bottom line. Tell your guests how much you've enjoyed serving them. Be sincere and be sure to invite them to come back again and soon. When they do, it will double our sales and double your opportunity to double your tips. Make your goodbyes as warm and friendly as your hellos. Okay, here's the recap. Make sure to present the check right after dessert, place it in the center of the table, and make sure your guests don't feel rushed. Offer them a choice of how to pay, and be sure to invite them back again soon. Now, a few words about when things don't go quite as planned.
So, in a perfect jungle, guests arrive and are greeted with a smile. They eat, they drink, they have fun.
In other words, you and all of us succeed in our mission of making guests happy.
However, in real life, as we all know from time to time, it happens. Yeah, that's right. It with a capital S.
What to do? Well, it may surprise you to know that the guest is not always right.
That's right. However, the guest is always the guest, and they pay your salary, my salary, everyone's salary.
So we always resolve guest complaints in the guest's favor. When there's a problem with an item, you are empowered to fix it. Immediately take steps to correct the issue and advise your guest that he or she will not be charged for the item. To reassure the guest that they should expect better, offer a gift card for the value of the item to enjoy on a future visit.
While you are personally empowered to fix a problem for a guest, it is always important that you advise your manager of the problem as well, so that he or she also has the opportunity to personally address and reassure the guest.
So there you have it. Great service, jungle style.
Really, it all comes down to the Jungle Gym's mission statement we talked about at the very beginning of the video.
Have fun and make guests happy with great food and friendly service in a fun-filled atmosphere.
If you keep that in mind and aim every day to provide your personal best service, it just falls into place.
On my first day, I was a bit freaked that I might crash and burn. But by following these service guidelines and tips, And by relying on my team members, like you, whenever I needed it, I felt at ease. And I found a job I actually love coming to.
Jungle Gyms really is a great place to work. It may take a little while to get into the swing of things.
But your team is with you all the way.
And this is the Jungle Gym's guest service guide.
A really great resource packed with essential info on how to shine in your new role. So take a little time and read it through.
You really will be glad you did.
Well, I guess that does it for now. Once again, we're excited you're here. Welcome to our jungle.
And hey, don't forget to have fun.